I was a shy intern making copies and fetching coffee when I saw an elderly man standing alone in our busy corporate lobby, clearly frustrated as person after person walked past him without a second glance. When I realized he was deaf and trying to communicate, I approached him and signed a simple question. "Hello, can I help you?" I had no idea that the CEO of the company was watching from the mezzanine above. Before we dive in, I'm curious. Have you ever learned a skill to help someone you love? Tell me about it in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories like this one. Now let me take you back to that life-changing Tuesday morning. 6 months ago, I was the most invisible person at Nexus Communications. At 24, I was a junior marketing intern who spent her days making photocopies, organizing supply closets, and trying to blend into the background of one of Chicago's most prestigious advertising agencies. I was the kind of person who ate lunch alone at her desk, took the stairs instead of the elevator to avoid small talk, and had never spoken up in a meeting. Not once. I hadn't always been this way. In high school, I'd been confident, outgoing, even popular. But college brought small failures and rejections that slowly chipped away at my self-esteem. By graduation, I felt like a shadow of my former self. The internship at Nexus Communications was supposed to be my fresh start. Instead, it became another place where I felt small and insignificant. The only thing that gave my life real meaning was my little brother, David. David was 8 years old and born deaf. While our parents struggled to learn sign language, I threw myself into it completely. I practiced for hours, watched videos, and took classes at the community center. David became my motivation to master something that truly mattered. By the time I started at Nexus Communications, I was fluent in American Sign Language. It was the one skill I was truly proud of, even though it felt useless in a corporate world that valued presentations over people. The morning that changed everything began like any other. It was a Tuesday in October, and the Nexus Communications building was buzzing with urgency. We were preparing for a major client presentation. Everyone was rushed. Everyone was stressed. That's when I noticed him. An elderly man in a perfectly tailored navy suit, silver hair neatly styled, standing at the reception desk. He carried himself with dignity, but his eyes showed frustration and sadness. He tried to communicate with our receptionist, Jessica, who was busy and growing impatient. She asked if he had an appointment. She asked if he could write something down. He couldn't. Then I saw the hand movements, the expressions. He wasn't gesturing. He was signing. Jessica turned to help someone else, dismissing him completely. Other employees walked past. Executives, designers, associates. Not one stopped. I stayed where I was at first. I was just an intern. My job wasn't reception. But then I thought about David, and how invisible he sometimes felt. I made a choice that would change everything. I walked over, heart pounding, and signed, "Hello, my name is Mandy. Can I help you?" The change in his face was instant. Relief, gratitude, a genuine smile. "You sign," he said. Thank goodness. I thought no one here would understand me. He told me he was there to see his son. When he signed the name, my heart nearly stopped. Richard Harrington, the CEO of Nexus Communications. His name was Arthur, and he just wanted a few minutes with his son. I helped Arthur sit while I made some calls. While we waited, we talked. Or rather, we signed. Arthur told me about his career, his late wife, and raising a hearing son as a deaf parent. He was proud of Richard, but worried that his son had forgotten how to slow down. When we learned Richard wouldn't be free for another hour, Arthur tried not to look disappointed. Instead of sending him away, I offered to show him around the building. What followed became the most unauthorized tour in Nexus Communications history. I translated conversations, explained departments, watched Arthur light up with pride. What I didn't realize was that Richard had been watching from above the entire time. When my supervisor confronted me in the lobby, a calm voice interrupted. "She was helping my father," Richard said. Then, right there in the lobby, Richard signed to his dad, slowly, imperfectly, but with love. Later, in his office, Richard told me he had watched an intern do what his company failed to do for years: make someone feel seen. Then he offered me a job. Not an internship. A leadership role focused on accessibility and inclusion. 6 months later, Nexus Communications was fully accessible. Interpreters, training, real change. My brother David visits the office now. He once told me, "You're like a superhero. Not the caped kind. The kind who helps people belong." It all started with one simple choice: to stop, to notice, to care. Sometimes the smallest gestures create the biggest change. What would you have done? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe for more stories that remind us everyone deserves to be seen.